It is, Daniel. Morning. What are you doing, man? Hanging out and doing the day job, man. Damn, I forgot to clean that damn bin. I got so tired after work, I didn't even do it. It is what it is. What's up, Raja? What's up, Tim? Y'all doing all right today? The client's canceled. That's sad. I have no damn agenda whatsoever, man. I'm just trying to get through the regular work day. And I'm finding out that it's kind of nice to have you guys hanging out. Have somebody to talk to while I'm trying to do all this dumb shit. Silly, right? About as riveting and interesting as it could get. Spamming them 100s. I do got a couple of options that I've been thinking about, and I need to get ready to shoot the promotion for shooting the poop this week. I do need to do that. Brainstorm out the next video. You know, content creator shit. I'm kidding. Like I'm a damn content creator. You doing all right, Tim? Hit the vape real quick and see if we can start getting some trolls in here to come tell me that vaping is awful for me and I probably am going to fall over and die. It's always the greatest. No, I'm just trying to get the job done today. I'm at the day job. Kind of bored. I figured some of you guys might be bored too. It might be cool to just hang out. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. Close all these extra tabs on my browser because my ADHD maybe opened 78 of them. Oh, right up here. It's actually a mantle clock. Pretty old one. Trackstar Lonnie. Damn. Yeah, I know, right? Damn. I am a collector of eccentricities. That is for damn sure. Now, that clock, I believe, is from the 1930s. I've still got to get in there and redo the action on it. I don't like the way that it keeps time, but it doesn't do it very well. So I've got to. I think the Geneva gear in it's maybe a little worn, so I may have to rebuild another one. So what am I working on today? Precision 3D laser scanning and reverse engineering. Oh, this could be fun. So I gotta tell you, this is a lot of what ends up making me end up having so much. I mean, I don't want to sound like a smartass when I say it, but there's so many things that I want to pass on because, well, number one, I'm old, which means I've learned a crap ton along the way. And number two, my job exposes me to so many new pieces of technology, so many new pieces of innovation, so many new disciplines that I get to learn something about. What's up? How you doing, Tom? You all right? Yeah, I'm still beating the hell out of this vape. Like I said, hopefully I'll get some trolls in here. I guess it's just me and you, bud. Everybody else kind of took off or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. Tangent Solutions. Oh, I didn't say that out loud. Let's see what we got. Cancel. Let's grab those guys. We'll use that for a content order. I like that. Yep. Bam. Copy. Boom. Up there. Pasty. Very nice. Recovery Live. Lady G. Good morning. Good morning. My little happy people. Give me just a minute, because if I remember correctly, somewhere in this old roll top, yes, Lady G loves history. So I thought I would give her a little bit of fun. It's not old history, it's not ancient history, but it is history nonetheless, and it's really cool. You guys are actually seated on, and I'm not going to show it to you because it's an absolute fucking disaster, on a roll top desk that I ended up saving from an estate sale, granddad's house. You know, they had to get rid of everything because he passed away. And I'm not going to show them to you, but this roll top desk has several secret compartments built into it. It's pretty cool like that. And as I was looking to get this thing restored, which it's now my work desk for the day job, which is awesome. That's why I keep looking up here, because on top of the roll top, I've got two of my monitors, then I got another monitor here and another one here. Anyway, in the midst of doing the restoration on this, I find the documents for an American Army Air Corps pilot from World War II. And Mr. Sheldon got home apparently from the war. He had ended up going to World War II, then he ended up going to Korea, and he went a couple of other places. He ended up basically getting back home right around the late 40s, early 50s, something like that. And as soon as he got home, like many guys that I know, because I was in the Army, I mean, when you're done and you're out, take everything from the military, put it somewhere. That part of my life is gone. I'm done. It's over with. And this sounds kind of squirrely to say it like this, but for anybody that's been in the military or has ever served in a combat theater, this will make sense. That part of me, as soon as I get home, is unalive. Doesn't exist anymore. Let me get back to being me. Well, in the course of being me, Captain Gidding put away all of the things that were in his pocket from his Class A's the day he got home. And they went in that secret compartment, and nobody knew about it. Even after he passed, nobody knew about it since. I got a hold of Captain Ginning's family. I got most of his personal mementos and stuff. I got all of that back to them. And as a thank you, they left me this. Captain Gidding's coin purse that he was carrying change in on his trip back stateside when he got back. And for the greedy in you, he left all the money in it, which is cool. Thought I'd pull this out, let you guys see this. These aren't exactly the oldest in the world. I've got to pull my damn glasses up to be able to see most of it. But for example, focus, you fucker. Oh, you're not gonna show them. You're not gonna let them see crap, are you? Oh, you suck. All right, let's do it this way. Maybe that works better. Hey, bins. Let's see, that one's a quarter from 52. Another one from 43. What's that one? 51. $48. So you had $1 in quarters. Pull those to the side. Thought you guys would dig these. These are pretty cool. Here's all of the dimes that he had. Which are pretty cool in their own little unique way. Because, funny enough, out of the 90 cents in dimes that he had in his pocket, you'll notice that only 2 of them look like the dimes that we have today. And that's because these 2 are the dimes with Gidding. Gidding was his last name. Hold on a second, let me answer the boss real quick. Charles, Daniel. Anyway, back to this. So for those of you who aren't aware, the person on the dime right here, both of those dimes have FDR on them, Franklin and Delano Roosevelt. Well, prior to that, he wasn't a president. So everything, most of the dimes that he had in his pocket looked entirely different than the dimes we have today. I'm going to do my best to try to figure out some dates on these, but let's see. Do the old man thing. Turn on the light, kick my glasses up. That one is 51. That one is 45. That one is from 29. That one is from 1927 or 1940. What's that guy say? 43. That one is 1930. And that one is 1929. I thought these were actually really cool to see. He had one nickel. That nickel is from 44. Obviously very tarnished. And yes, it still has our good buddy Jefferson on it. Because obviously he'd been a president for a while before that. These are all pretty cool. They came out, a lot of them ended up getting tarnished like crazy. What year does that say? That one's newer. That one says 1960. That one's 1954. 1959. Yeah, a lot of them are copper. Most of them are 100% copper. That one is 1952. This one is 1946. And this is before they ended up putting the monument on the back. As you can see, this one is called a wheat penny. A lot of the pennies back then were wheat pennies. Ding-a-ding, pull yourself out of there. One last one. This one is in really good shape. It's really shiny. But that one is 1949. So needless to say, all of this was the change that was in his coin purse when he got back and he called it a day. He never filled out the little thing inside. Apparently somewhere along the way he ended up snapping it in his pocket, which is pretty common in these things. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. I don't think they're particularly all that valuable, but that's the weird thing. Did you hear how those clink together? Yeah, all of this is actually silver. Right about the mid to late 60s, we stopped making coins in actual silver and started basically making them out of, well, there's no other way to explain it, basically pot metal. But prior to that, coins actually had, value because they were made of precious metals like silver. And now, best I can one-handed, I'm gonna try my dangest to get Captain Giddings' coins back in his coin purse. There's his nickel. Put that back where he goes. I mean, would I say they're valuable? No, I doubt it. I mean, they're not particularly valuable at all. I mean, but like so many things, I think that the story that they tell is much more valuable than the object ever will be, you know? Um, so as I return these back into his coin pouch, which is another interesting thing. I mean, if you put it in perspective, I know that this was an officer that was carrying this because people didn't make a lot of money back in the 30s and 40s. And for him to have this much in a coin purse was kind of a flex. I mean, he's got $3 and change in here. And to be able to put that away and just never look at it again, that was pretty significant. But you'll be happy to know all of his coins were right back in his purse. And then they go right back in his secret compartment. Where he left them. And his family was all like, take them, sell them, do whatever. I mean, but I think he'd much rather know that they're still right where he left them, Good morning, Benz. Good to see you, man. I think that's why I like remaking old pieces of furniture like that. They are all time capsules in ways that you never even imagine, I'm glad you liked it, Lily. I really do, Lily. I hope you did. This old desk has been chock full of all kinds of cool stuff. And now it's all chock full of my new safety stuff. You guys didn't see that, did you? Welcome to Texas. It was awesome. So glad I'm a member. I love history and learning new things. Thanks to you, I'm learning again. There's so much around here. I mean, like every other place. I mean, everybody's got their own. I have a couple notes about the shop floor. I'm not even mad about that. Whatever. That's cool. Yeah, sure, Monkey. No problem, man. I love it. Personally, for me, I love it because, like I said, when I go in and I find, and it's so sad, especially, I mean, it may not be this way in England, but it's certainly this way in the U.S., especially down in the southern U.S. Probably even more so up north, now that I think about it, because they have so much more history up there, all the way back to the 1700s, 1600s. It breaks my heart when I run around here and I'll see a post on social media or something, and it'll say something to the effect of some Gen Z or Gen Alpha kid. Granddad died trying to get rid of all of his stuff. And I mean, there's the inherent sadness involved with, somebody passed away and, but this desk, this beautiful oak roll top desk, is exactly an example of what I'm talking about. It was in such shit shape when I first got it. Hey, Paul. I mean, it was thrashed. Somewhere along the way, some mom decided to let kids paint all over it with nail polish and shit. It was, and somebody tried to fix something and they beat the hell out of it with a hammer. And I mean, it was just wrecked. It was so bad. And it's mixed emotions for me because I saw it. I knew this is the silliest shit you'll ever hear in your life. But I'll go to places like that and I'll see pieces like this. And in my brain, my stupid ADHD brain goes that. And I go back in time to like the 30s and 40s when it was new. And Glenn Miller and big band orchestra music is playing. And, you know, it's such a beautiful thing when it's first made. When people gave a damn about making things that were elegant and intricate. Delicate and beautiful. And then my brain just fast forwards through time of people beating the hell out of it and shoving it to the side, and kids jumping up and down on it and beating the hell out of it and painting on it with markers and God knows what else, you know? Only for it to end its legacy with that family. With some balding, goggle-faced idiot showing up at their front door saying he likes it. And they so dismissively say, that's cool, take it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And that's the beginning of the heartbreak, you know? Because that thing has a story. It has a life that was connected to so many people. And the person that gave it to me just didn't give a shit. It's whatever. Just take it. It's not important. And then I get back and I do my best to be careful, and I start taking it apart, and I start peeling back the layers of how it was made and how it was repaired and how it was fucked up and then reassembled. And the farther I dig in there, I come across treasures like Captain Gidding, who was sitting right at this very desk at the end of years of war, probably drunk as hell on bourbon, crying his eyes out, telling the old him it is time to go, and locking it away forever. And it happened right fucking here. And I don't mean to be presumptuous about myself or, you know, whatever. But I can't help but to think that if it wasn't for me, nobody would have ever known. You know? Hell, for all I know, that Charles Gidding's family would have never even knew a damn thing about him. Never even had that snapshot of who the hell he was back then. You know? So when that old piece of shit is sitting out on the curb, man, fuck, man, there's a story in there. You might be able to find it, you might not. But why not fucking look? You know? The hell is it going to bother you to take a couple days out of your life? So yeah, silly as shit. It's another one of the reasons why I love not letting people pitch shit in the trash. Because it doesn't matter if it had a fucking 150-year-old history or 150 months. There's a story. You might fucking find it, you know? Thanks, Monkey. Appreciate it, man. I'm not amazing at all. Not by a fucking long shot. The people that had all of these fucking things that I've saved, those are the fucking amazing people. Right up there. Sit tight. Set it off. Billy Shacker. And his mantle clock that his granddaddy gave him. From the Sears and Roebuck Company, made in West Germany, December of 1929. Why it was called West Germany, I couldn't tell you. I don't think Hitler had split up Germany at that point. But you got your little key. Daniel, I think he was a car dealer, actually. Yeah, you wound it up with your little key. And then see, that Geneva gear does not want to work right. I mean, it's keeping time right now, but it won't for very long. Check out this coolness. I'm sure all of you guys in England are used to this, but not for me. The chime at the half hour. Just like an old grandfather clock. Eventually, I will get the gearing fixed in this guy so that it will keep accurate time again. I got all kinds of silly shit like that all over the house. It's not in a very good shape. I mean, it could use a good restore. Here, let me do it this way. Hold on. Like I say, here's the little key. I'll just keep it down in the bottom. can't see that worth the damn king. Sears, Roebuck and Company made in West Germany. And you can't see it back there, but right here on the clock plate, even though this says West Germany, which is odd, this says its production date was December of 29, which is December of 1929. I don't think that the Nazis I don't think they had split up Germany into East and West at that point, because I thought that happened post-war at 45. Maybe I'm misreading the date stamp, or maybe the date, or maybe the actual inner mechanism is transferred from another clock back in the 20s, and the case was built in the 40s or 50s. Yeah, it's weird because the brass plate that's on the back of the actual clock mechanism actually says December of 29. Maybe that's December 29th. I don't know. I thought it said month and year, but Pine, good to see you, man. Dad's Workshop. What's up, Calvin? How you doing, man? I have so many little oddities like that around here. That the grandfather clock. My great grandfather was in the army when I left. I just formed profession as a French polisher. I think it's December of 1929. What's up, Calvin? Good to see you, man. I really think that may be the case. I think that I know that there used to be a miniature version of a grandfather clock. They only stood maybe like 2 or 3 feet tall. I think they may have transferred it into that mantle clock so that they could repackage it and sell it as something a little bit more contemporary for the time. Because people didn't want the big gaudy grandfather clock in the house anymore. They wanted something a little more sleek. I think that's what they might have done. But yeah, eventually I'll get the action working on that thing working again. Thank you. Appreciate that. You guys did me a favor. Daniel was talking about it earlier, how everything in my lives ends up being, an Easter egg hunt of little things that I got in the background, because I got all kinds of weird, eccentric crap around here. Y'all do me a favor. You see the time. Keep track as we're going through the live and see how accurate that thing is, and see if it's off, it's running too fast, too slow. What do y'all come up with? I think last time I checked, I would wind it, and for a period it would run a bit too fast, then it would slow down, it would come into time, and then eventually it would taper off and it'd run out of time and it would die. Grandmother clock is what they call it. Okay. Oh, you're talking about the little miniature version, the 2-3 foot job. Yeah, okay, I got you. Alex, bonjour mon ami. Good to see you. Yes, Alex. That is absolutely hilarious, because it's one of the things that I learned for a very short time. I was in Germany at Würzburg, and I don't know if it's that way now or if it's been that way. I mean, this is probably almost 30 years ago. At that time, Germans weren't taxed on their income, they were taxed on their assets. And furniture, collectibles, items of value in somebody's home, I mean, all of those were assessed by the auditor. And things like this commanded a high tax rate. High valuable pieces of furniture, almost to the point where it didn't make sense to keep the furniture. You could just buy new furniture. instead of having to pay the exorbitant tax to keep it, especially if it was old. Like there was a whole other deal about it being antique or something. And you could always you could always tell who the GIs were running around Würzburg because in the days leading up to tax day, people would be discarding furniture and home decor and stuff, and they'd be throwing it out in the street so they didn't have it, and they would have to pay tax for it. And these GIs are just running around, just snatching this stuff. There's two guys running down the road carrying a couch. They're hauling ass back to post with it, trying to get it in a shipping container so they could get it back home. Yeah, a lot of stuff ended up leaving Germany that way. I do not doubt that at all. There were tons of that shit that took off like that. That's fine, Jay. Appreciate you coming in, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for showing some love. Yeah, but there's a multitude of that German stuff that ended up coming over that way. German stuff, Austrian stuff. And as I understand it, it's because of that tax law that it was easier just to get rid of the damn thing. And then they didn't have to dispose of it because they knew that the post was there, the Army base, the Air Force base was there. So they knew they just set it outside and the GIs would come just snatch it up and haul ass with it. No, I think that this happened in the 90s. So this was well past like, oh, we're looting Germany after World War II. It wasn't anything like that. It was literally this whole deal where the civilians would get rid of all of their stuff for the taxes and then the GIs would go snatch it up and haul ass with it. That's what was happening when I was there anyway. Now I'm trying to look around and see if I can find any other little things I got laying nearby. The spoils of war. That's great. That thing is still up there ticking. I don't know. I want to get it fixed. I don't think it deserves to be up there cocked up on that shelf though. Yeah, it's better than where it was going, but it still doesn't give it what it deserves. We had not now. It might. That's the other thing, and I think that's another reason why I started the channel is that when I was a kid, there were shops that employed people that simply don't exist anymore. Clock repair, television repair, radio repair. Bring your appliances and they'll fix them for you. Those kind of shops don't even fucking exist anymore, and that's sad. It's a damn travesty if you ask me. As a gain time? Yeah, I thought so, Corey. If I remember right, when I wind it, it'll run fast, but it'll taper off and it'll die out. Yeah, there are a couple of watch repair places still, but you can tell evidently that it's the greed in them. And that's the reason. Not the love of, oh, I love watches or the utilitarian purpose of let me keep your watch going. It's let me fix your granddad's Submariner from the 60s and then find a way to scalp you out of it so that I can sell it at a profit. You know, I mean, it's that kind of crap. Cedar Grow Box, good to see you, man. I want to do that so badly, and I got a pretty good idea how to do it. Um, but honestly, I want to find, how the hell do I say this? I want to start with timepieces that I don't really give a shit about, you know, because like this guy. I mean, Mr. Shacker's got a whole story behind that clock. And for me to come in and trash it as an experiment for me to learn how to do shit, that's just a fucking travesty. I'd much rather find something that's a piece of shit that really I can't find the story about. I can't learn any of that and do it that way. I think I'd have a better conscience. And then when I'm better equipped to be able to do it, then I'll come back and I'll tackle Mr. Shacker's clock. Aw. You're right, Alex. It's incredible. And it's odd to see how many of the weirdest things end up surviving because of the ridiculous happenstance of a time capsule they end up being encapsulated in and preserved. Like, what's his name? Utsi. The guy who ended up getting shot in the shoulder with an arrow, something like 15,000 years ago, and then he got frozen in the ice for 10,000 years or whatever. No, because it is at Jason Sloan's house. Jason is aspiring to open up his motorcycle mechanic shop, and I gave him some money and I gave him the bike and told him to redo it and change out a lot of parts. I needed to redo the timing, the timing spring mechanisms on it, and the motor needed rehung, and it needed a lot of stuff. So he's had it for quite a while. That's kind of what my post was about. How much I miss being out in the wind. He's had that bike forever, but he's a good friend, and he needs more time. He's trying to get his bike shop going. I told him to put what I'm doing on the back burner. It can be there as long as it needs to. If it needs to be a year, I don't care. Yeah, hopefully I get it back soon. Mr. Mo, what's up, man? How you doing, Guitar Man? Okay. Get back to work and actually get some work done for a change. I need to do that content. Over down, tech. Let me go check out them. Beep 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 beep. See what these guys are up to. What industry am I learning about now? The business of buying and selling businesses. Okay. Get back to those TPS reports. Exactly. Hopefully I can get this thing to where it's actually, I don't know, replacing what I'm doing with all of this, and I don't ever have to look at a computer screen again to look at another spreadsheet. Fingers crossed, maybe this channel will pop off, man. Beauty of American capitalism. We got a new contract client coming in for a company that does flood repairs. Sounds about accurate. Alex knows who I'm talking about. Let's see. That poor guy. Little did he know. Trying to travel, eating his barley and his jerky, trekking across the Alps. Little did he know, getting ambushed and shot in the frickin' shoulder was going to end up turning him into a piece of history in memoriam. I'm not making anything today, Michaela. Well, not on this live anyway. I'm doing the day job and getting to know most of you wonderful people. Spending a little time. Yeah, but let's see. He ended up getting covered in a snowpack, and then before the snowpack melted, the glacier ice covered him up, and he was stuck there literally for tens of thousands of years. And he was preserved so well. If you guys haven't seen the story of Ötzi, you need to go look him up, because this guy was preserved so well that tens of thousands of years later, when he was uncovered by global warming, go figure, this is the level of how intact he was when they found him. They found his clothes. They found his boots. They found his weapons. They found the quiver of arrows that he was carrying with him. He still had food in his belly that they could do an autopsy and figure out what he had eaten just before he was killed. His skin was so well preserved that they could find his tattoos. He had tattoos, prolific, like 60 tattoos all over himself. It is so fascinating. It really is. How well he was preserved, and they were able to figure out exactly what happened to him. He had just been in the lowlands up right below the Alps earlier in that day. He had gathered up some meat from a bighorn ram, I think, some jerky and some wild barley, and had that to eat, and had started making his way up into the mountain pass. And he was in a bit of a hurry because of the uric acid levels in his muscles. Like, they could tell he had been exerting himself pretty hardcore. He was trying to run, and I guess whoever it was that was trying to find him ended up catching up to him and shot him with an arrow, and it hit him right above his shoulder blade and plowed down, and it hit a major artery in his back right next to his lung, and he ended up bleeding out. It's so fascinating. It really is. It is fascinating to see it, because he learned so much about Ötzi and what people were like when they lived back then. Because when you look at the time frame that Ötzi was alive, he was right in the bridge in between when some groups of people were still hunter-gatherers and some groups were starting to move over to become agriculture and cultivation and tending herds. So there's evidence, like I said, of the wild grain that he'd grown, that somebody had grown and traded to him across the way. There was also where he'd gone on a hunt and he had killed a ram and he had dried the meat out, and there was all of that. It's such a wonderful thing to see. I love that kind of stuff. Recommend History Talk in the morning and good work in the afternoon. I don't know. I like to dribble on about some boring stuff sometimes. I mean, if that's something you guys want to do, I mean, I don't mind doing it. The other thing is that I get accused a lot of being a know-it-all, which is kind of the negative side effect of doing what I've been doing. I like to think of myself as a polymath in training. I want to learn a little bit about everything. I'm sure the people in the UK don't know what I'm talking about. For you guys in America, you probably remember a show that was on television, a kid show called Sid the Science Kid. My kids always compare me to that all the time. because in the intro song he yells out, "Hey, did you hear the one about the kid who wanted to know everything about everything?" Yeah. I didn't know they could make synthetic opals. I mean, you're right. I really didn't. I guess my curiosity with that was I didn't know if it was financially lucrative to do so. Like, did it make any sense? Like, am I putting $5 worth of work into 50 cents worth of product? That kind of thing. Oh no, Alex. No. Calvin's a really good guy. He's very open and receptive to a lot of what people have to say. So I'm sure he wouldn't take it that way. But I could dribble on about some of the stupidest crap. An ink pen automatically reminds me of a funny history story. The story of how stupid Americans can be and the bravado that we can possibly have in the way that we approach problems compared to the rest of the world. The ink pen is a great reminder of that. In the late 50s and early 60s, when it was time for all of us to have our little race to go to the moon and who was going to get there first, of course, it was the US and the Soviet Union who were really big into trying to figure out who the hell was going to get there first. And no, it's not the Russian panic. It's literally, they had already launched Sputnik. They had already had Yuri Gagarin up in space. I mean, they were kicking our ass. No spoilers, Corey. Damn it. Unless you guys have already known the story, then I'll shut up. Yeah, the pencil story. And the stupid ink pen. Everything has its little stupid origins, I guess. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, this one was a big, the one I was holding. Corey would know this. Who invented the writing utensil? I would like to think the first writing utensil was probably a rock. If I had to guess. Break time is almost over. Mike is making stuff. Has 2 new members. Oh, wow. Very cool. New members. Sweet. We're almost at 60 new members. Holy hell. Wow. Lucy the Neanderthal woman. Probably. which is hilarious because it shows just how little we've changed over the centuries. I was talking in a ladies live stream earlier about there's a place nearby called the Alabates Flint Quarry. And it's an example of one of the first places in North America where they had decided that they were going to center their society about being a trader rather than chasing the herds of the buffalo or the deer or the antelope playing or whatever the hell. Or people that decided that they wanted to be like raiders and barbarians. All right, Daniel, thank you for coming in, man. Appreciate it, man. Well, they had found this flint quarry, and flint, of course, back, over 10,000 years ago was kind of a big deal. It was the one easy way to make fire. And so they were trading flint out of the quarry that they dug up, and they were trading it for meat with the people that chased the buffalo herds. And then they were trading it with the Pueblo Indians who were making pottery and other tools, stuff like that. And like I said, it's really funny how little we've changed in the tens of thousands of years we've been here. There's a lookout point at the top of a plateau that lets you see for miles all the way around you, which makes sense. If you got to play, you're going to have to guard it. You're going to have to pay attention when, the herds are coming or when a raiding party or whatever it is. So you could tell that they had, lookouts up at this outpost watching over things to make sure that they knew when somebody was coming. And carvings into the stone up there that are tens of thousands of years old. I could look at it today, and as a guy, it makes total sense to me even today. I don't share the sentiment, but I completely get it. Some kid just got bored, and this one just graffiti scribbled a gigantic spiral because he was just bored as shit. And another one puts a bunch of series of dots in a pattern, all over a damn rock, because what the hell else is there to do? I'm just sitting up here looking at nothing. And there's other graffiti where they'll draw stick figures with gigantic schlongs and shit. I mean, it's like hilarious crap. It's the equivalent of graffiti. It's just, where somebody will go with a spray paint can, paint a dick on something. I mean, it's the dumbest crap ever. And it's so funny how little we've changed in 10,000 years. All right, let's go take a look at it. Back to the TPS report. Up. The clock struck 1/2 past. How far off is it? Is it still running fast? Now remember, when I set it up there, I had just made it chime the hour, so it's been 30 minutes. According to the clock, it's been 30 minutes. How long has it been since then? "10 minutes fast." Yeah, that's what I thought. And it'll continue over the hours, but it'll eventually wind itself down, though. Slow down. What am I making today, man? Making myself a damn migraine at the moment. Get one of these monster ibuprofens in. That'll probably help. I think it might be really cool to try to go find maybe another piece of historical whatever may be going around. You know what I could do? Let me check the local marketplaces. What's up there today? Have I recently wound it? Yeah, I just wound it for the first time in years, about a half hour ago, Corey. And they said it was like 10 minutes fast. Free kitchen cabinets. That's always good. Needs clean. They were here when we moved in. Free. Must pick them up. Say less. I'll get those after work. Free scrap wood. That's always good. Oh no, that's all trim. I can't do anything with that. It's been parked for a couple of years and we can't sell it. Instead, we decide we want to give it away to someone that can make use to it. Okay, what is it? A 28-foot camper trailer. Do I need a camper trailer? All right, Lee. Appreciate you coming in, man. Appreciate it. Oh. There's a topic for those of you that want to discuss it. The double-edged sword that is freaking free piano. Free piano. I love that post and I hate it at the same time. How many of you guys tried to mess with a free piano? You know, plywood, I never even thought about that. And I think it's something that I've heard people do before. I wonder if I could take that camper trailer, take the shell off of it, and then underneath the frame could be used to make a decent flatbed, I bet. Pretty damn long one, too, now that I think about it. At 28 foot, I mean, that's a big ass flatbed. Well, Corey, that'd be cool, except that I think around here, because there's so many blue collar guys and stealing people's trailers is so prevalent that there's a big market for flatbed trailers. A big market for them. But that's a big son of a bitch, almost 30 feet long. Wow. Ended up getting to use digital. Yeah. I wonder about taking them in as a project. The harp is the biggest and heaviest problem with a piano. So, I mean, you could take it apart on site and maybe get the harp out. And then after that, you just got a big, beautiful cabinet. But then you almost have this moment where somebody will offer you a piano and it's cool, right? And then it turns into, I ain't touching it. I ain't moving. You move it all yourself. Don't mind it. And it's just such a pain in the neck. Dr. Living Good. Okay. I'm sure we'll take your recommendation. We can go check that out for sure. Plywood, what'd you get out of the harp? I mean, did you take it to scrap yards? What you did? put it forward to the sponsor. Not sure what you mean, Corey. I'm sure if you separated the harp out and you sold it as a piece of metal, they'd probably pick it up at the scrapyard. Wouldn't give a damn. They'd just take it. Although steel is like getting you what, like $3 a ton or some garbage like that. Almost makes me wonder. Okay, so the harp. Let's chase that down, because now the free piano thing is staring me in the face with a marketplace ad. If there's a free piano, the harp in the piano is probably not made out of mild steel. It's probably made out of cast. Did I not want project ideas to get behind? More times than not, what I've discovered, at least locally, is that people that are looking to get rid of a piano, they just want the damn piano out of the way because it's in the way. Now, see, plywood, that's got me interested, because if it's mild cast iron and it hasn't been, carbonized or tempered or done anything crazy with, and they've just poured it, then that could be melted down and used to cast other stuff, which might be a hell of an idea, because I imagine another thing about it, because it's not hardened or tempered in any way, and it's just cast, hypothetically, you could hit the damn thing with a sledgehammer and probably just shatter it into 1,000 pieces. I mean, it does have the tension of the strings for the piano on it, so that does put a little bit of tension force on it, but I don't think enough that it would warrant somebody trying to temper it or carbonize it before they poured the harp. You know what I mean? I think they'd just pour some cheap ass metal in and call it a day. Well, and a pool table is a whole different animal, because if it's a really good one, then what makes it heavy is that it's usually sitting on an inch or an inch and a half thick piece of slate. And that stuff can be used for cool stuff, for sure. I will definitely put some work into a pool table. And it's not just because I played pool a lot, but yeah, I could do some work with a pool table, because those big chunks of slate are definitely something good for a workshop. If you've got the tools to cut it and work it, those pieces of slate from a pool table are probably some of the flattest and truest surfaces that you'll get. So you can use it for a surface plate. You can use it for sanding. You can use it for tool sharpening. I mean, it's definitely worth it there. But that damn harp and a piano, and it's such a crapshoot. Like, you don't know from one brand to the next whether or not they did a damn good job making the harp or pouring it or making it decent. There's a lot of stuff you could salvage now that I'm thinking about it from a piano. Especially if it's older. It's just, I dread having to contend with the dingus that's giving it to you. You know? I don't know why it bothers me so much, but every once in a while you might find somebody cool. And what I mean by somebody cool is you show up with a truck and then they're like, you know what, I called my brother, my uncle, and 3 cousins, and we're all going to help you get it in the truck. That's cool. I can get down with that. But when it's Beatrice and her house is full of priceless Avon bottles, and you got to move this honker 700-pound freaking piano out of her house, and she's going to lose her mind if you scratch the door frame. I don't know why, it just sits wrong with me. to be so smug at people like that. Which they have kind of a right to be. I mean, they're giving you something, but it's neither here nor there. You guys able to make anything today? Mr. Wilson, how are you, friend? It is definitely still morning for me. It is 10:30 a.m. local time, which means it's probably what, about 4:30 your time? 4:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, 17 cents after taxes. I'm killing it, man. $11.30 in Ohio. Yeah, I think. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna build 4 new website pages for those guys. I think that makes sense. Beep doop doo doop 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 doop. 4:30 in Scotland. Look at me, I nailed it, dude. Get that ass. Mr. Shacker's clock says that it is 43 minutes past the hour. Oh, I got a call coming in, guys. Just a minute. Go check on the kennel. I'm going to make sure you're awake, kid. Look what time it is. Morning, man. Love you. $4:30, that means I need to get to work. Empalado. Oh. See ya, monkey. Preserve some phone life. Been nice being here and educational, man. Well, thanks. I try. I'm sure I sound more smartass than educational, but still. Work is a cuss word. We're allergic to it. Break out in a sweat every time. Damn right. Still got 4 people here. Cool. All right. Let me find. My downloads. There we go. That's the sheet I need. Hello, Gavin. Greetings from Turkmenistan. How'd the guitar come out, bud? Turn out good. Heard like it sounded like it was playing a lot better. Pakistan. I love it. Alex, oh wow. Good to see you, friend. Retired and bored out of my mind. Good thing for live streams. I hear you. I can't wait to be retired. Holy hell. I think when I'm retired, I'm going to be doing more work than when I'm not. Get to retirement is hard work. You ain't kidding. I truly cannot wait. Stand by, guys. Be right back. Sorry about that. As Galvin loves to say, I'm sure you guys didn't want to participate in a poo and a brew. Oh, goodness. Welcome back, everybody. I'm sorry about that. Yes, sir. Gavin, Mr. Poo and a Brew. Thank you for that, by the way. You're a good man for that. Why do I have Joni Mitchell stuck in my head? California, California, coming home. What's everybody up to? I got about 18 minutes before I end up being able to take a lunch. All right, guys, for those of you that are still keeping time, pun intended, Mr. Shacker's mantle clock says we got about 7 minutes to the top of the hour, which is pretty close. I mean, I'm looking at this. It was like an hour when I kicked it on. It's 1:28 that I've been on now, so 7 minutes would be about 1:35. So it's running roughly in the same spot. Although it was 10 minutes fast getting to the bottom of the hour. Okay, for those of you that ever tinker with clocks, that's an interesting set of circumstances. We now know the following about Mr. Shacker's clock. When the wheel is on the downstroke going down to the half past hour, it runs 10 minutes fast. But then it makes up that time climbing back this way. So that tells me that the mechanism is getting a little weak because gravity's letting it accelerate itself as it moves down, but it's struggling to get itself back up. And at this point, it's still keeping time because cumulatively it all turns into an hour, even though this is 28 and this is like 32. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Well, actually, in this case, it's actually a lot more it's a lot more exaggerated than that. The downstroke is 20 minutes and it's taken almost 40 minutes to get back to the top of the hour. That is a trip. That's interesting. Mark Twain tells the story of a watchmaker fixing his watch and moved the regulator faster, and 3 months later was 2 days ahead of everyone else in town. Yeah. I wonder, I guess I might have to research the regulator inside that clock and figure out how that works. Maybe there's a tension I might be able to adjust. Like the action is too fluid, or it's not exerting enough pressure when the Geneva kicks and advances the gear. I don't know. It's fascinating. And now I'm going to be consumed by that for the rest of the day, trying to think of exactly what part of the mechanism is. Okay, so again, if it was just the spring was too weak, then it would be consistently slow because it couldn't push the gear all the way every time. So it's not the spring, it's not the winding. there's something indicative about the fact that it moves faster on its way down and slower on its way up. What's up, Rusty? How you doing, man? Now it's flooding in the east. Yeah, it's. I saw something from a meteorologist talking about there's been almost 1,200 flash flood warnings in the southeast. Well, between like Texas and Virginia. Like, it's been nuts. Rusty, you know anything about old clocks? About to head out the shop and mess around. Poor Ricker's like, don't say flood, you son of a bitch. Shut up. I'm going to shut that down for a minute. Thanks, Ricker. Yeah, we're fighting over this, or I'm fighting mentally over this mantle clock, which has about 3 minutes before it actually engages itself to give us a 9 o'clock chime, even though I know that that's completely the wrong hour. But I wound it up because I want to try to get that thing working, or at least figure it out. Did that cost you anything, John? I'm curious because I've seen it a couple other lives, but I ain't seen nobody. I ain't heard anything about the other side of it. And then there's this whole other damn thing with gems and shit like that. Like you can give people gems or fucking Mario coins or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel you on that one, yeah. Like, and that's what's got me so hesitant about fucking with that mantle clock. I was saying it earlier. I'd much rather find some old winder clocks like that I don't know the story of, that, you know what I mean, is really not that important, and try to do my guinea pigging on those. But I'd rather do it with a clock that I didn't give a damn about, because I know the story of Mr. Shacker's clock up here. And it'd be a damn shame for it to go through everything that it went through just to end up in my hands and getting boogered up because I'm an idiot, don't know what the hell I'm doing. That would just be a fucking tragedy. I'd much rather get a lot smarter first and then start poking it. Checking emails. Here we go. Good. That's a hell of a good sign. That tells me that the cycling chime is in line with where the hour hand is. If it would have been like, because it's saying that it's 9 o'clock right now, right? And well, it's inverted because of the fucking live, but you get what I'm saying. It says it's 9 o'clock right now, and it chimed 9 times, which is good. Because if it would have chimed 8 or 11, then that means there was an asynchrony in there somewhere that got knocked out of whack, and that's cool. I'm glad that that part is still good to go. Do I have a track saw? No, I do not have a track saw. Funny enough, I'm going to have to try to find myself one. I don't even have a skill saw at the moment. Somehow, in the midst of myriad of all the things that I did, I know I used to have a Milwaukee 7 1/4 inch corded one. And I think I ended up loaning it to somebody and it never came back. You know, that kind of deal. We all do that. But I think that's what happened to the last one I had is that somebody ended up borrowing it and they borrowed it forever. I found I don't need a table saw anymore. Yeah, that's true. And me and Ricker were just talking about this the other day. I mean, we were talking about that I needed to get a skill saw. Somebody was telling me, what the hell? They needed me to show them how to turn a skill saw into a table saw. It was a night or two ago. I do need to do that. Although it's kind of sketchy doing that as far as a YouTube video is concerned, because sure enough, he'll show somebody how to do that. And curious complete side ready to take that on board. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. The skeevy part of that is that, okay, if I show you how to make, for example, a jig for your jigsaw to turn it into like a little portable scroll saw, bandsaw thing, you gotta really go out of your way to do some dumb shit. To do something like nip a fucking finger off or something. You know, I mean, you gotta really be putting some effort behind it. But I think that there's a hypersensitivity on YouTube, albeit warranted, in the fact that it's involving a circular saw and a potential table saw you're building, because that thing, I mean, statistically, it's one of the things that'll de-digit you faster than anything else in the shop. And it would be just my luck that I make a damn video showing somebody how to make a table saw, and then they end up popping 3 of their digits off and they end up suing my damn channel over it. You know what I mean? I'll do it, Jeff. I really will. That's cool. Storing a track saw track. Hey, Smallwood Law, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, that makes me real skeeved out to think about making the video. I mean, I can make a table saw out of a circular saw in a damn minute. That's probably the biggest part. Yeah, that's what gets me about it. Change out the batteries. What the hell happened there? Perry Mason's coming on at 9. Holy hell, I ain't watched Perry Mason in forever. Damn it. What the hell's the name of that public broadcasting, digital broadcast channel they got nowadays where it does nothing but show? Jeff, you know which one I'm talking about? Where they do nothing but show like Bonanza and the Rifleman and Big Valley and all of that shit. Andy Griffith. Me TV. I knew it was something like that. Is it bad? Then I might be getting old and I'm starting to think that's a pretty damn decent channel. It shows some good shows. I mean, where the hell else are you going to watch the Big Valley or Gunsmoke or Bonanza? Pretty much anything with fucking Michael Landon in it. Little House on the Prairie. Tangent, that's cool. That's cool. Callahan. Do. Well, fellas, now that I look at this, I have to learn not to work when I'm angry. What'd you do now? You okay? Did you hurt yourself, bud? You all right? That's where the hell I'm at right now. My knuckle and my pinky's busted shit because I got mad. I was trying to beat the hell out of that bar I'm building. And I ended up knocking the hell out of the corner of the board and I fucking cracked my finger like an idiot. All right, lunchtime. What am I going to eat? Not a damn thing. I'm going to sit over here and talk with you good folk. I will probably lose signal